I'm a fan of many different properties and franchises, and I've gotta say, my favorite video game franchise is Resident Evil. Ever since I was little and watching Minecraft YouTubers play horror maps, I've been obsessed with being scared, so why wouldn't I love one of the biggest horror franchises of all time? Unfortunately though, I'd say like 40% of the Resident Evil franchise is horror and the other 60% is mindless action, which I have nothing wrong with, by the way. I just usually come to Resident Evil to be scared, not to shoot down a giant zombie horde. Let's talk about Operation Raccoon City. I want to reiterate that I don't inherently have a problem with the more action-oriented games. One of the best games in the series, Resident Evil 4, is definitely more action than horror, and I mean, like I said, it's one of the best games of the series. I just think some Resident Evil games tend to go way too far, and Operation Raccoon City is one of them. But until making this video, I had never beaten the campaign mode, only playing through a chapter or two, saying, this sucks, and playing Resident Evil 7 instead. So today, I wanted to see, is Operation Raccoon City really that bad? Let's get into it. You boot up the game and there's already a buttload of options, but today we're mainly going to be focusing on the single player campaign because the online is more dead than the American spirit. You get to choose your difficulty and then are put into the character selection screen. To give some context for the story, this game is a non-canonical reimagining of the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3, where we play as Delta Team. The crew Umbrella sends in to apprehend William Birkin and the G-Virus, but Birkin has hired some Umbrella staff to betray the company and protect him. We get the option to customize our team of 4, with each character having their own unique special ability, whether it be spawning trip mines or turning invisible temporarily. On the character select screen, we can buy new abilities and weapons and level them up with the XP we get from missions. And you're gonna need to, and we'll see why soon. But enough preamble, let's hop right into the gameplay. It's shit. Now, I'm gonna say something that might sound like an exaggeration, but I wholeheartedly believe it. This is one of the worst controlling Resident Evil games ever. As of recording, the only Resident Evil games I haven't played are Darkside Chronicles and Umbrella Corps, but I really struggle to see how those two could be worse than this one. It is so clunky. The run feels stiff and you have a weirdly small amount of stamina. It seems like you get out of breath after running for just a few seconds. The shooting feels fine, I guess, like a typical third-person shooter. The default aiming settings are way too sluggish, but after a while I just got used to them. You have melee attacks that are ridiculously overpowered. In a one-on-one with a zombie, if you just mash the melee button, you'll win 100% of the time. You'll rarely ever encounter just one zombie, but if the time comes, then yeah, it's checkmate. There is this admittedly really cool thing you can do where if you hold down the melee button instead of just mashing it, you can actually walk around holding the zombie as a human shield while still having the ability to shoot. I found that out way too late and I barely even used it, but I'm not gonna lie, pretty fun gimmick. Something that's not a fun gimmick though is that stupid dive. I hate this move. It is so useless. What you're supposed to use it for is for diving for cover in intense shootouts, but it straight up just doesn't work. In my experience, even when diving, you still get hit just as much, and even when you reach cover, whenever your diving animation is finished, you stand straight up before you can align yourself with the wall to hide, meaning you're gonna take even more bullets. The worst part is that it's mapped to the interaction button, so if you run towards an item to pick it up, you have to come to a full stop and interact with it or else you'll do the dumbass dive, which leaves you vulnerable for many precious seconds and farther away from whatever item you need. I hate the dive, and I hate these controls. Like I said, one of the worst controlling Resident Evil games ever, but I mean, it's manageable, so whatever. Like I said previously, Mission 1 has us trying to apprehend Birkin and the G-Virus, so we run through his lab fighting off his hired soldiers. We're led by fan-favorite character Hunk, who starts off the gimmick of iconic Resident Evil characters cameoing in every mission. Though iconic might be stretching it for some of these guys. This first mission is fine. Halfway through we run into mutated Birkin and have to run away from him, and I actually didn't hate it. I know that doesn't seem like high praise, but I definitely can't say the same thing about some other things this game does. This mission does set an unfortunate precedent though. This game is just one big shootout. Most of your enemy encounters in this game will be hide behind a thing with very jank hiding mechanics, peek out and shoot for a bit, then hide behind something else. It's literally impossible to do any other strategy like rushing in or whatever, just because of the sheer volume of enemies this game throws at you. If you rush in, you will be killed. Period. Mission 2 has us fight zombies for the first time, with our new job being to scrub clean any evidence that Umbrella were the ones that made the apocalypse. I want to take this opportunity to point out that this game runs horribly. It doesn't look awful, a lot of the environments are fine and the recreations of iconic locations can be cool, but like I said before, this game will throw literal hordes at you and you can see it struggling when it does. The audio quality is also horrible. Sometimes it's fine, but then other times voice lines and sound effects just won't play or will be at an insanely low volume, or music will just cut off. In this mission we meet Nikolai, and he doesn't do much in this mission besides introduce himself, but us Resident Evil fans know that this asshole is up to no good. We'll be seeing him later. This is another unremarkable mission. We make our way to City Hall to destroy some evidence, fighting umbrella soldiers and zombies along the way. The most notable thing about this mission is that it introduces lickers to the game, but any sense of strategy they had to defeating them in the mainline games is completely gone. Now they're just another bullet sponge that can climb on walls and ceilings and uses their tongues as long-range weapons. Mission 3 has us tasked with knocking out the power grids with EMPs so nothing going on in Raccoon City can leak out. We start in the Raccoon City Hospital from Resident Evil 3, and just like in Resident Evil 3, it's filled with hunters. These guys are really annoying in this game. Like I've said before, the movement in this game is terrible, so avoiding their attacks is really difficult. They take a shit ton of bullets and do a lot of damage to you, and fighting two in a confined space just sucks. They also have this super fair stun lock attack where if you get hit by it, you get knocked on the ground, but your movement speed and get-up animation are so slow that you take 2 more unavoidable hits. How fun! These 3 hits will either just kill you straight up or eat a huge chunk of your health. It sucks. Nikolai shoots down the helicopter that has our EMPs, causing them to fall into Raccoon Park, so we have to run through the zombie-filled streets of Raccoon City. Anytime we're running through Raccoon City is my favorite part of the game. A lot of the indoor spaces feel way too small and cramped, and honestly are just bland and uninteresting. We have thrilling set pieces like generic science lab, warehouse, and police station lobby that we've already seen a million times. Running through the streets of an apocalyptic city filled with zombies, even if it's very linear and has little to no interactivity with the environment, is pretty cool. What isn't cool is when we have to take the final EMP from Nikolai in one of the worst boss encounters I've ever played. He hides in a building and snipes from above, and we have to shoot him whenever he pops his head up in a window. I've yet to mention it because this is our first real boss, but bosses in this game suck. All they are is huge bullet sponges. Your teammates' bullets aren't weaker than yours like in Resident Evil Revelations, they're the same strength. So to accommodate for a team of 4 characters being able to shoot equally powerful bullets, every boss in this game takes a million bullets to take down. And when Nikolai can take forever and a day to pop his head up combined with this game's really crappy aiming, this boss becomes really annoying. Thankfully it only took me about 10 minutes, but man, what a tedious and painful 10 minutes. After fighting Nikolai, we head to the power grid, but not before going through RE3's clock tower, with Moonlight Sonata playing as a nice little nod to the first game. The power grid part was pretty annoying too. Basically, you have to raise power grids up from the ground one by one and attach EMPs to all 3 and blow them up, all while zombies and umbrella soldiers are trying to kill you. This part is really difficult too. This game can get very overwhelming because there's always so much going on. The soldiers in this game have aimbot. If they're shooting and you're not behind cover, you will get hit 100% of the time. I tried doing the game's intended strategy of hiding and picking off the soldiers one by one while avoiding zombies, but after doing that for 20 minutes and not having any success, I said F it and just ran in guns blazing hoping I wouldn't die. And eventually, after a few minutes and 10 deaths, I did complete the mission. This mission is okay. Like I said, the city parts are alright, but almost everything I hate about this game first appears in this mission, and it all goes downhill from here. Mission 4 is all about Nemesis. He's malfunctioning and has gone rogue, and it's up to us to stop him and inject him with what's essentially an obedience parasite so we can continue hunting down the remaining members of STARS. The first half of this mission is okay, running around Raccoon City some more and then through a generic lab. We even have a run-in with Mr. X, which is really cool. But then we have the Nemesis fight. This fight was hell. It takes place in this multi-level warehouse filled with zombies that just keep on spawning forever. Nemesis has this giant machine gun that can hit everywhere. There is nowhere in the warehouse except for the entrance where you're safe from it. He could be on the complete opposite side and you'd still get hit. His bullets are also insanely inconsistent with how strong they are. Sometimes I'll be at relatively low health and get shot at for multiple seconds and I'll be fine, but other times I'll be at what I thought was a safe amount of health and die to one hit. And again, he just has so much health. When I finally beat him, it was after 10 minutes of a non-stop barrage of bullets being shot at him by 4 people. Nikolai took 9 minutes, and that was from one bullet every 20 seconds, not including all the times I missed. Even with 4 people shooting at him non-stop, and even after a couple of Umbrella soldiers came in phase 2 to help, it took 10 minutes of gunfire and special moves and bombs to take down Nemesis. Oh, and that 10-minute fight was when I eventually beat him, by the way. After about 20 minutes of failing, I was raging pretty hard, and it was 2 a.m., so I decided to go to sleep. Then the next morning, I kept dying for another hour before I could finally beat him. Even though it was very satisfying finally having him defeated, the inconsistently damaging machine gun, janky hiding mechanics that led to me dying simply because the game wouldn't let me hide, and shitty AI for my team making them dog shit made it so the experience overall wasn't very fun, just very hard. Also, the voice Nemesis has when we defeat him might be the worst Nemesis voice of all time. Start! Mission 5 is us going to Chief Iron's office, running past his cum tiger and destroying some evidence there. And you know what that means? We get to go back to the RPD! Hooray! Seriously though, I've got nothing against the RPD, I just find it crazy that this game is the literal 7th time it's appeared in the franchise, and it still shows up a bunch more times after this. I get that it's an iconic location and all, but sometimes I do get a bit tired of it. Anyways, after we destroy Chief Iron's evidence, we make our way outside where a cutscene plays. And look, okay, I don't love this game. Most of my time playing this game, it was with a straight face, and every once in a while I went, oh, that's kind of like in Resident Evil 2 and 3, that's pretty cool. I gotta say though, this cutscene actually put a grin on my face. It's a recreation of the Leon and Claire getting hit by a truck and separated cutscene from the start of Resident Evil 2. Before playing this game, the only Resident Evil character I knew was in it was Leon, so seeing Claire genuinely shocked me and it was really cool. We chase after Leon because we assume he's an operative against Umbrella. Also, I can't be the only one that thinks he sounds just a little off in this game, right?
I'm not one of those things! Stop shooting!
Anyways, the rest of this mission is kinda crazy. We shoot down some hordes, play a little duck and cover, and then eventually we have to fight a bunch of hunters. The first encounter is in a pretty open space, so even though it was annoying, it was manageable. The second encounter, though, is in a super tight space, I'm pretty sure has unavoidable damage with the hunter that's dropped from the sky at the start, and is very stressful. After about 20 minutes, I finished it and was ready to take it easy, because I assumed that was the boss for this mission, but nope, not too soon after beating the second wave of hunters, we're thrown into a battle with Mr. X. 2 of them! The arena we used to fight Mr. X in is a lot less cramped than the second hunter space, which is very appreciated, but this fight's still hard as balls, and is really frustrating because these guys just won't die. Eventually, after half an hour, I finally beat the boss and we head into a safe zone, ending the mission. This was definitely my favorite mission so far. Is it for superficial reasons? Yeah, but I don't care. It was the first time in this experience I felt genuine joy, so I'll take it. Mission 6 has us chasing Leon and Claire some more because Umbrella refuses to extract us from the city unless we kill them. And in doing so, we run into Ada, someone else I had no idea was in this game. We follow her down this hallway and get to a really stupid part. I genuinely think taking damage is unavoidable here and have no idea how you're supposed to get past it. You have to shoot these laser wires so you can proceed without getting killed, but in order to destroy them, you have to stand up completely unprotected and shoot them. Also, they explode when you destroy them, so if you're too close, sorry, you're dead. And this is all while Mrs. Aimbot is shooting at you whenever you even breathe out of cover and taking huge chunks of your health. The only reason why I beat this is because for some reason her AI just glitched out and just shot straight forward without aiming, but I have no idea how you're supposed to get past that normally. Eventually, we make our way to a room where we watch the scene from Resident Evil 2 where Leon makes Mr. X fall in a vat of lava and kisses Ada on what he thinks is her deathbed. Again, seeing these scenes from Resident Evil 2 is some cool fan service. The only notable part of this mission is it ends with the self-destruct sequence from Resident Evil 2, and a painfully slow lift part where we fight mutated Mr. X and a bunch of lickers. For an end of mission boss, this one isn't too bad. I think the Nemesis and multiple Mr. X fights really train me on how to deal with bosses in this game, to the point where I'd say I'm now decently good at Operation Raccoon City. I wasn't actively having a bad time playing around this time, I just felt nothing. Just mindless shooting in pretty bland locations, occasionally broken up by a marginally stronger bullet sponge. The coolest parts of this game can be seen in a cutscene compilation on YouTube. Our final mission has us tasked with finding Leon and Claire, who now have Sherry with them, and killing them while capturing Sherry for testing. And for a final mission, it is very, very underwhelming. We do our usual pew 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 until we meet up with Leon, Claire, and Sherry and are given a choice. Kill Leon or let him live. And I'm not gonna lie, I was not gonna replay this mission just to see both endings, so I just took the don't kill Leon ending because it was easier and looked up the kill Leon ending. Spoilers, but in the kill Leon ending, we kill Leon and Claire and take Sherry in for testing. Who could have seen it coming? The good ending has us teaming up with Leon to fight the final boss of the game. Now, you may be thinking, Mesh, at this point of Resident Evil 2 and 3, Jill's dealing with Nemesis on the other side of the city, and Leon and Claire have still yet to fight Mr. X on the train as they escape. which leaves us pretty short on final boss options. What could the thrilling final boss be? Is it a giant hunter? A zombie horde? Oh, did I hear you say fight 3 of your teammates that betrayed you along with Leon and your one non-traitorous teammate, each teammate having the stupidest, most brain-dead AI imaginable and going down in less than 2 minutes? Sounds exciting! This is such a lame final boss. Taking out the horde outside the warehouse you fight him in while Leon snipes you from above was more engaging than this. And the non-killing everyone ending, we make a promise to take down Umbrella because they suck and betrayed us, which means this game has officially joined the Resident Evil set up a cliffhanger that's never resolved club. All in all, what do I think of Operation Raccoon City? I think it's a very forgettable Resident Evil game that's got a few moments that'll make you go, oh, that's pretty cool. But if you're looking for a Resident Evil game, then you're better off looking elsewhere. There's no horror, no puzzles, and you don't even have an inventory. One of the only non-weapon, non-health item objects you pick up in the game are cards to unlock some doors, and that's it. Even Resident Evil 6, a game that spits in the face of survival horror then shoots the face it just spat on, kind of had an inventory. I did hop online for a round just to see if I can find anyone, and surprisingly I found 2 people playing and I joined them. And I gotta say, that was the most fun I had playing this game. I don't know what it is about getting in a squad of people and shooting things, but no matter how good the game is, that's always gonna be fun. And I can imagine if you got 3 friends together and played through this entire game with them instead of just stupid computer players, it would be a lot more fun. I know for a fact it would be a lot easier too, because whenever your teammates die in any mission but the last one, you can revive them and they'll come back with full health. In single player though, you can only revive your teammates, they can't revive you, so everyone else is immortal, but when you die we have to start all over again. But anyways, because I can see how this game has potential to be genuinely fun, I can't in good conscience call it a bad game. Now, if you're just one person and you don't have 4 friends willing to play Operation Raccoon City with you, should you get this game? No, of course not. I don't think this game offers anything gameplay-wise in single player that's so good that it just needs to be experienced. And if you want a Resident Evil action game, you're better off playing 4, 5, Village, hell, any Mercenaries mode. Just don't make the mistake I did thinking this game is some hidden Resident Evil gem. There's a bunch of DLC for this game, including a different campaign where you play as a different group of people. This campaign has some more Resident Evil 3 stuff, with you running into Jill and Carlos and having more Nemesis, but I'm sorry. After experiencing the Nemesis fight of Mission 1 and dying for an hour straight, I could see that this would just be more of the same and decided it wasn't worth my time. I tried going online to see if experiencing it with real people would make it better, but at that point, my guys were gone and no one was online. Again, the best part of the game is the fan service, so just look up Jill's cutscenes on YouTube. Anyways, yeah, I give this game a C on the Resident Evil game tier list. Could be a lot worse, but also could be a lot better. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later. Peace.